Hello, and welcome back to the Minetrek.net game server. This will be update 6, I believe, for the Enterprise E build. Well, work is progressing. I've got most of this deck here sorted out now. I even went ahead and added in some of the gangway stuff just to see how spacing works. Because this deck is pretty tall, it's actually going to have a gap in between it. And that can't be avoided. That was something M. Heller is aware of. And we had to lower this deck in order to fit in what will be this whole area here through here is all crew quarters as well, but would allow in to fit in 3 high crew quarters through here. Still haven't figured out what we're going to fit in here yet. If we do decide to do like ship systems and stuff like that, it'll probably just be a bunch of equipment. I may or may not run a Jeffries tube along here, like a Jeffries tube access along here. Don't know yet. Really don't know yet. I have to run it by M to make sure. And anyways, this, even though it's not painted blue, it's basically crew quarters. Eventually I'll come back through and I'll mark these up for large size crew quarters, or somebody will. We want to avoid the crap like we ran into with the Enterprise D, this kind of crap. So we're going to go ahead and stick with the standard crew quarters, i.e. they'll be shaped more linear as far as things go, so they'll be more cubic shaped. And those that aren't cube shape will, be adjusted as needed, like I've done on all the builds since the Enterprise A. And I did the Enterprise A after I did the B, so yeah, the A is the one to reference. And the reason for that, you start getting these odd-shaped rooms and stuff, and yeah, you really run into problems. Now, the reason I'm not marking out the rooms yet is because we need the windows in. I need to know where the windows go for this hull, and then make sure that we design the rooms around the windows. This will be one of those rare things where the ship interior is actually dictated by its exterior. Now in the Enterprise E, completely different story. The Enterprise E's exterior window placement is dictated by the interior placement of all the walls and stuff. Even though, this image says they go here, like on the Enterprise E, and therefore that's where the window must go. The window's not going to go there. It's going to have to get moved or voided. It is post-Nemesis, so of course, post-Nemesis refits, there is no specs for them. So it's easy for us to say, hey, post-Nemesis Enterprise, ain't Windows there. Windows over here instead. So with the D, we don't have that latitude. So we have to let it, manage itself and make sure the windows and all the hatches and everything are placed in. And then as far as crew quarters and areas where the windows are affected, make sure the walls don't get in the way of the windows like they did on the Enterprise D. Now what happened is the guys on the D designed the D, then somebody went through and reworked the hull and put windows according to images. And of course those images, and if you go over the D, you'll just pull your hair out walking over it and looking at it and saying, well, there's this window, but there's nothing underneath of it. What the hell? And if that happens to the E, I'll never work on it again. And I'll just saying that because you can't afford something like that to happen after all the work that was put into it. As far as this deck go, again, it's a departure from the Ed Whitefire as well as the strategic, well, not strategic, but the Rick Steinbach plans, in that it does utilize space a lot more effectively. And up here, if we get up here, I'll show you up here, I went ahead and mirrored that front section to this back section again, so we have more space back here. And now we have a turbo lift that will affect this back area here as well. Same thing on the port side, although the port side is slightly different than the starboard side. So again, these decks here are not asymmetrical, and I really don't think any of the decks are going to be asymmetrical. So when we mirror them over, we're going to have to pay very close attention to the fact that the center sections or parts of the side sections are not going to match up. So you just can't do a clean mirror over and be done with it. So keep that in mind if you do any mirroring, that they're not asymmetrical. Now the outer parts probably will be. So we'll be able to mirror the outer parts, but then we'll just have to make sure that the inner areas, the core sections here, are, correctly placed and not affected by the mirroring. This is just a big cargo bay, and it feeds up into here, and then these are cargo as well, but haven't figured out how they all work yet, so we will see. We will see. We will see. Again, all the stuff down below it will be affected by everything as well. This is our working escape pod plan. I moved it so of course all the science and stuff will fall off on the inside, but kind of get an idea here. Little working escape pod. It's only 3 high, well, 1, 2, 3, 4 high, so it'll fit in a 4 high area or 3 high area. But if we have to, if it's only 3 high in an area where an escape pod goes, this right here will actually become this part right here. Just saying. Gotta do what you gotta do. Anyways, Ben and or Waffles and Blue Phobes worked on the hatch designs here, and as you can see, there's different facings for different things. And then this is a mock-up of the actual silo, and we got to make sure when we space these that there's enough room to do individual silos around, because the black is actually the escape pod, so the orange area around it would be the silo. So pretty sure that these here can trade corners and stuff, so, or swap off corners, so I'm not worried about them conflicting with each other when it comes to what the hell happened here. Ah, for crying out loud. Face fucking palm. Evidently, this got shifted, so yeah, it got shifted and moved. God damn it. This is the thing that's really starting to get on my nerves. Don't make changes, okay? Don't make changes to the interior of the ship, period. Once it's over here, don't touch it. I'll take care of anything that needs to be changed or anything that needs to be adjusted, because what happens is when you make changes or adjustments, you screw up everything else that's connected to it. Now, I've been running into that problem with this deck extensively, so I'm gonna rip this entire freaking deck out and replace it. That's a lot of extra work, and it really just pisses me off, because then I got to go through here and adjust all this, and as you can see, this isn't even lined up with this, because son of a gun. You see them lined up through here just fine. This is the back end of the ship, so we'll swing around to the port. Well, in this case, the starboard. Wow, they're lined up here, lined up here, lined up here. So yeah, please don't screw with stuff once I place it, because it really does make it difficult for me to keep everything in line and avoid our little issues that we ran into with the Enterprise D. Again, leave the deck interior layout and design to me. Please don't alter the work or try to fix it in any way, shape, or form. It's just all you're doing when you sneak changes like that in. You're just screwing everything else up, and it makes it god awfully much more difficult for me to stay interested in the build if I got to constantly worry about somebody fucking shit up. So yeah, please keep that in mind in the future. Don't screw with stuff. To whoever did that, just don't do it. And we're back, and hopefully I've got it fixed now. And as you can see here, we fly through here, you can see now it's all lined up. This is all lined up. So I get so frustrated because people change stuff around, and as you can see here, even this has been moved and stuff like that. I don't know why when I set something, why it's being changed. It really, I guess it's maybe the positioning on the hull got changed or the hull construct got changed. But yeah, I got to go back through here and I got to reshape this, and it's incredibly frustrating because when this was actually over there in the deck stack, it worked out really well. Now it's been changed, so it is what it is. You get too many people working on the project, and sometimes the left hand doesn't know what the right hand's doing, and it's a real shame because it really throws a monkey wrench into everything. So anyways, let me go ahead and fix these lines through here and see what else I can do. Talk to you in a bit. So what I did is I just went ahead and removed those white lines, figuring that there'll probably be windows here anyways, and if not, we can do what we need to do as far as dropping stuff. Anyways, we'll come down here. I want to make sure, because I just have a sneaky feeling that things aren't lining up again. So, whoops. Alright, so yeah, they appear to be lining up just fine through here now, which is what I really been trying my darndest to make sure everything stays aligned as it gets moved. Unfortunately, sometimes third-party involvement causes conflict. That's the best way to describe it. So this one's got to come down, so we'll get rid of that one there. And yep, now it fits. It's one of those things, it's teamwork, Again, the team should be advised not to make changes to things that I'm working on or face my wrath. The only person that's authorized to really make any changes would be M. Heller herself, because it's her server. And the rest of us, play here, try to do what we can do to accommodate all that needs to be accommodated, but in the end, just don't screw with other people's builds. Please don't. I mean, it is really frustrating when you spend all this time getting things the way they need to be for what you're working on, and somebody comes along and decides, I don't like the way that looks, I want to change it. And they end up shifting the entire deck out of place, and that caused all sorts of problems with everything else. So anyways, those decks are now pretty much in. I'll show you here on the stack real quick how this deck here looks like. If we can we'll go underneath, and we can't really go underneath of it. We'll get off of this deck here, and again, I'm just going to go ahead on this here, just go ahead and just replace the white with blue. The white was actually an inner wall that corresponded with the hull, but because the hull has been changed, or something's changed, it no longer works. But as you can see here, the new corridor comes around like so into this nice open area here, like a lounge, relaxed area. There'll probably be windows here. And let's go ahead and fix this while I'm thinking about it. And this will probably be hangar control or cargo control. As you can see, all of these are lining up, which is what we want. All of this is lining up, which is what we want. Spin around here. These are all lined up. Well, can't really tell because this thing's in the way, but this is just crap, so don't worry about it. Spin around here, and we'll fill in these right here real quick. And we'll drop down to the next deck and take a look at the next deck. M. Heller did something. Thanks. I'm going to go ahead and show you this deck once we get down to it. It's this one right here. And you can see it's pretty big. It's again, it's been shifted a little bit to modify for our needs. So we got a nice corridor along here that goes all the way around the other side, and then we got the length corridor. Granted, this is not centered on the ship, so keep that in mind. Again, these are not centered. So the reason I didn't go 4 down this corridor is because I wanted the extra space in these rooms through here, and I needed the extra space right here, of course. As you can see on the deck stack, this has all been changed. So on the deck stack, this is now this way. Or excuse me, on the actual ship itself, this is the deck stack. So that's been changed. So it comes down and then goes out, then goes down and then down to the next deck. Although I don't think that actually it does go into this deck, so we'll have to work on that. This will be the next deck I'm working on, so let's go ahead and grab the hull pieces for it real quick. I keep hitting the wrong key, macro key. And see if we can get it fitted correctly. It should only be 4 tall, excuse me, 4 tall. And yeah, I don't know about that. I'm going to go ahead and do it offline, or off recording here, and we'll see how it looks once we're done. Well, here we go. We're adding in the hull for the next couple of decks that we'll be working on. I just added this section here. And again, don't worry about this because this doesn't matter. It's this right here. And actually, believe it or not, with this hull, the next riser is right there. So we're 3 high through here, so we're good. We're 3 high through here. It just doesn't count it because it's part of the, technically the roof, which is outside of the bounds of what I grabbed, which is only 4 blocks high. But as you can see, this block is now with the floor, and that's kind of weird. I wonder if I got this one wrong. I just placed this one, and it looks like we're missing, or maybe I placed it too far back. That's probably what it is. I probably placed it too far back. I'm going to have to double check that. Make sure my settings and stuff are correct when I copied it over. It looks like I placed it too far back by quite a few blocks. So how many blocks? Looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blocks. I know it wasn't that far off. We'll go ahead and undo this real quick. And wait for it to unload. Yeah, when I first placed this one, I was actually a block too low, so when I placed it, this was actually a block too high. I don't know how to explain it, but it gave me the wrong, it gave me too much room through here. I was like, wait a minute, there shouldn't be this much room through here. So I went back through and double checked it, and sure enough, I was in the wrong position when I copied it. There we go. Now I'm standing straight on what I need to be standing on when I copied. So why is it... Oh, okay. Reason being is I'm not copying this extra layer right here. Okay, so this layer right here isn't being copied over. So because it's a dual deck, and this deck actually has to be where it's at because it's a hanger deck. So I cannot fiddle with this deck at all. Okay, so I did have the placement on it correct. So yeah, but we're okay. We double checked it, so we are okay. Paste. Alright. I'm going to, once this thing finishes, first let's go ahead and get a sign here. Alright. Yes, there is a layer missing, comma. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it, period. It is by design. Alrighty, now let's grab some light and we can get everybody's attention so that everybody knows. Hey, come over here and look. Come look at me. There we go. Anyways, I do appreciate you taking time to watch. Again, this is the Minetrek.net game server. If you'd hit that like button for me, greatly appreciate it. Please feel free to visit us on Facebook and like us there as well. Anyways, have a great day. Bye-bye.